Playmakers, how's it going? This is Coach Wood. Hopefully, all is well. Thank you so much for stopping by the Before You Go Pro channel. We are about to get after it today. Hopefully, your day is getting off to a great start. I truly appreciate you taking some time out of your day and rocking with Coach Wood. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is where we talk football, you guys, and we've got a wonderful topic for you today. Something that I know is on a lot of you young athletes' minds. So we're going to get into it here shortly. But before we get into today's topic, you guys, please consider hitting the subscribe button. We are tremendously close to 1,000 subscribers, which has taken some fighting to get to, and we are so close. So if you could hit that subscribe button, if you could tell a friend, if you could tell a cousin, your coach, your teammate to hit that subscribe button, you'll be doing Coach a solid as well. And we've got some special resources for you guys down in the description box. If you are a football player or a parent of a football player, please check out what we have for you down in the description box, especially if you're not with Before You Go Pro. So as always, we are going to uncover the things that matter to you guys, the things that you guys are asking us. We get submissions with Before You Go Pro, and then also we have a recruiting and mentoring program. So we talk to athletes on a daily basis, and we hear the feedback, we hear the questions, and then we bring it into the huddle, you guys. So if you are not with Before You Go Pro, this is a prime opportunity to learn how this industry works. Learn how this business works. It's no different than the music industry. It's no different than the movie industry, you guys. Competitive, you better know how it works. So one of the things, you guys, that whether the kids are asking us about it or not, I know they're thinking about it, and especially the parents now, because we have the new dynamic of making money at the college level. Everybody's asking, when should I bring up NIL? When should I bring up NIL, Coach? Because now San Diego State is calling me, Michigan is reaching out, Minnesota, and I'm wondering, when should I bring up NIL? Maybe I'm being talked to by an NAIA program or a D3 program or a D2 program. Is NIL even prevalent? Maybe it's an FCS program. When, if at all, should I bring up NIL? Well, that is a great question, and it is something that all of you should be asking and all of you should be getting familiar with. I don't care if you are a freshman in high school, if you are about to be a freshman in college, if you're already in college. I don't care. All of you should be asking about NIL and figuring this thing out, because if you don't, it's going to be an opportunity that many of you look back on and say, I missed that window. So with that being said, you guys, there's layers to this. There is definitely layers to the question, when should I ask about NIL? Now, here is the key thing. This is the key thing that many of us are missing, and I get it. I get it. You know, you see some of the dollar figures that are floating around for some of these college football players, some of these athletes in other sports. I get it. But we cannot forget, you guys, we cannot forget the overall arching premise behind you going off to play some college football. It's about the scholarship. It's about the scholarship. It's about you going to college debt-free. It's about you having a great opportunity, a great experience, building relationships, and hopefully walking away with a degree and something that you can put on the wall and a nice plaque, you guys. That's what it's about. If it's still, I know you guys see NIL, and I know you parents, you guardians, you brothers, sisters, you see NIL. And that's real. It's very real. We have some athletes that are making some more than Coach Wood. But with that being said, you're winning if you get a full ride scholarship, if you get a PWO that you turn into a full ride scholarship. You are winning. You are winning. If you get a great college experience, football program experience, you are winning. The NIL is the icing on the cake, the icing in the cherry, you guys. So that's the first thing that I want to mention is you have to secure the scholarship. You have to secure the roster spot opportunity. Do not talk about NIL until that is secure. Now, once you've secured the roster spot opportunity or the scholarship, you guys, now we may start thinking about NIL. But it's going to depend on what level you're playing at. I've talked to Division II schools and Division III schools, even NAIA schools, actually, you guys, that have some form of NIL for their athletes to put a couple dollars in their pocket. But it's really on a small scale, and it's really in that local community at the NAIA level, the D3 level, and predominantly most D2 schools. So NIL shouldn't even be brought up, you guys, if you're playing at those levels, unless the coach brings it up. If the coach brings it up first, or he's mentioning it to you during the recruiting process, or once you get to that school, then you have a conversation. Now, you should always be prepared. You should always be ready. You should always have a feel for what NIL is all about. And if you don't, that's fine. But now it's time to study. If you want to be a serious athlete, you should know about NIL, because there's entrepreneurial NIL and there's viral things that can happen, and you want to be prepared for that. But with that being said, at the NAI level, the D3 level, and the D2 level, it is not about NIL, and the NIL opportunities from the school are going to be minimal. Now, you got to be probably somebody pretty substantial on that team, and it's going to be minimal, you guys. Now, there's some entrepreneurial things, and I mentioned the resources, NILLLC.org. Once again, NILLLC.org is something that we're building and partnering with, and have a team that is going to be tons of resources to teach you guys how to thrive during the NIL era, and the link is down there in that description box. Small plug. But with that being said, there's entrepreneurial things you can do to put some dollars in your pocket. But as far as what the school's talking to you about, that's going to be minimal. It's going to be minimal. Now, let's talk about the Division I level. Let's talk about FCS. Let's talk about FBS, and it's really three levels. It's really three levels, you guys, when we're talking NIL, because even though you're going to a Division I university, they're not all created equal. So when we're talking about NIL, there's really three levels, you guys. We're talking FCS, the football championship division. We're talking FBS, the bowl division, and then we're talking Power 4, because Power 4 is a whole different NIL ball game than FBS and FCS. They do have NIL money, predominantly most of these teams do. FCS and FBS, they got NIL money, and they're paying players, but it's really a case by case basis on what level it is, depending on the school you go to. So let's say that you're going to an FCS school like the University of Montana, or maybe you're going to Richmond, maybe you're going to a school like a Murray State, a Moorhead State, a Wagner. When you get recruited by those schools, I think it's best rule of thumb to let them bring up NIL, or wait until the scholarship is secure. Once you feel like the scholarship is secure, then maybe at the FCS level, you ask, are there any opportunities on the NIL side? But once again, it's going to be minimal, you guys. So that's definitely not what you want to go in the door talking about. Too many athletes and families of athletes are actually shooting themselves in the foot, because that's what they're starting the conversation about. And most of them don't have the leverage for that yet. You got to have leverage before you start the conversation with money. I don't recommend it anyway, but It is what it is. This is the NIL era. The coach that might be the first thing that he asks you. I know Don Staley, the basketball coach for the women's South Carolina Gamecocks, she said that's what she starts the conversation with. So, she wants to get straight to the point. But as an athlete, as the one going for the job, I wouldn't start with that. It would almost be like you going to get a job at Morgan Stanley or something, and the first thing out of your mouth is, how much do I get paid? The first time that you walk in the door and you sit down for that interview, whoever's interviewing you, the gatekeeper, and the first thing out your mouth is, how much am I getting paid? That's the same dynamic, and the coaches do not like that. They know right away that if that's the first thing that you ask, that you're a player that's going to leave with the wind. So they actually are not, they don't like that. They may even go away from you if that's the first thing out of your family's mouth is, how much do I get paid? So even once you get to the FBS level and the Power 4 level, you want to play the game. You want to be interested in what the program is all about. You want to be interested in what the head coach is talking about and give him his time. You want to ask about the community and the university and the academics, then get to the money. That will come up. On these recruiting trips at the Power 4 level, you will sit down with the general manager and the money thing will come up. At the Power 4 level, and you're talking scholarship, all of these kids are getting paid. We've got kids on Power 4 PWOs that are even getting some NIL money. So the money will come up at the Power 4 level. At the FBS level and the FCS level and everything down, secure the scholarship, secure the roster spot before you ever bring up NIL. Okay? You can't go wrong that way. You can't go wrong that way. Ask them about some other things. If you need help with questions to ask these coaches and recruiters, ask us, but do not start with the NIL conversation. Now, at the Power 4 level, it's all about leverage. It's all about leverage. Some people can get to that NIL conversation a little sooner than others because they have leverage, you guys. They have multiple offers and they're just that high of a recruit, and the other schools know it. They know it. So they're not even going to play around with you, and they're going to get to that money question fairly quickly. It might not be the first thing like Don Staley at South Carolina, but they're going to get to the money question fairly quickly, and you will be talking on the phone or talking face to face with the general manager, you guys. At the Power 4 level, until you have a substantial amount of leverage, meaning they've already offered you, or you've talked money with other schools and things of that nature, I never would start with the money thing first, but it's okay to ask and be a little bit more straightforward with the NIL deal, because you have other NIL opportunities that are on the table or that are coming, and everybody knows it. I'm a 5-star. I'm a 4-star. I'm a heavy transfer portal, high value transfer portal athlete. So everybody knows I'm about to get paid. So the money thing can get a little bit more straightforward and come up quicker in the conversations on the phone or at the family visit or at the school before some of the other athletes. But be smart. Be smart, because once again, a lot of these coaches, Dabo Swinney and his staff at Clemson, if you start with that money question, they're probably going to run. They're probably going to run, you guys. So this is just great things to talk about because it's real. Now, we're going to get into the entrepreneurial NIL because that's going to be even bigger piece for a lot of you guys. So we will get into that during some of these weekday huddle conversations. But just a rule of thumb, because I know some of you guys are wondering, some of you guys are thinking about it, and some have already opened their mouth to some of these coaches. Definitely, if you have not secured the scholarship or the roster spot, do not think NIL. That is still the win. The win is the scholarship, the roster spot. You going to school possibly for debt free, that's the win. That's the win. We don't talk NIL until that is locked away and confirmed and nailed in. All right? So keep that in mind because you'll blow it. You'll blow what you were really fighting for talking NIL. Now, once that's locked in, I'm a Division I athlete, FCS, FBS. Hey, coach, what's the NIL opportunities looking like at this school? Now, if I'm Power 4, it's going to come up fast. It's going to come up fast, you guys, if I'm a bona fide Power 4 recruit. So hopefully that helps you guys centered around this topic. Let's say I'm a junior. Now I'm going in my senior year. I don't have any offers yet. Schools are coming by in the spring, in May. The first thing I'm locking down is the roster spot and the scholarship. When that coach comes to your junior college or that coach comes to your high school in the spring, you're not talking to NIL unless you are a bona fide star and they're bringing it up. You go to their summer camp and coach pulls you aside from San Jose State. Coach pulls you aside from Ohio State and says, hey, we like you. We're interested. I'm going to be contacting you. That is not the time to ask about NIL. He hasn't offered you yet. That's the time to be cordial. That's the time to impress. That's the time to get to the scholarship. The NIL will come later. All right. So hopefully this helps you guys. We're going to keep bringing this topic up, and then we're going to teach you how to get to the money and how to secure the money as well, you guys. So get after it. I'm so excited for some of you athletes that are on that track, baby, that are on that track, because this is the greatest time ever to be a student athlete, you guys. So stay focused, stay hungry. If you need help, you need support, you need anything, do not hesitate to reach out to Before You Go Pro. Hit that subscribe button. We will be back tomorrow. Also, we're going to talk about this in the locker room show. We're going to talk about the NIL money and when to ask in the locker room show on Thursday. So if you haven't been to the locker room, you need to go to the locker room and get some more advice and some more guidance, all right? Hit that subscribe button. Check out the resources. I'm Coach Wood. We'll see you at the top.